Hi, good afternoon. Um, Second attempt at making this video. Goodness me, I'm frustrated. Uh, we've got a lot to talk about today. Severe weather, winter weather, and flash flooding. Very active day today, very active week this week for much of the United States today. So strap in. We're all going to talk about it today. Of course, we always start out with the temperatures today, or temperatures right now, rather. Um, You can see easily what a cold front and a warm front is. You can see where it says 64 and 61 in Missouri. That's Kansas City and St. Louis. You can see a little line there of a temperature transition. That is the warm front. You can see the 68 in Wichita, Kansas. That will be the cold front. So all this is going to advance quicker to the east-northeast today, bringing severe weather and flash flooding. We already have potential flash flooding troubles in portions of Iowa, in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. We'll talk about that in just a second. But cooler to the north, man, I'd take some 30s and 40s right now. Ooh-wee, I'd take those. Dew points, moist in addition to the warmth. Dew point sitting in the 60s. The mean dew point is sitting around 63. That's sort of the mean dew point across these east central United States. The middle United States, I guess we could call it. Showers and thunderstorms, portions of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, and Missouri. Whether the storms in Missouri will affect the severe threat today is going to be unlikely, as we should have enough time for destabilization and clearing, and of course we'll look at that in modeling. Snow, portions of North Dakota, and heavy rain, portions of the west and northwestern states today. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Here's the current advisories, watches, and warnings put up by the National Weather Service this morning. Flash flood watch, portions of Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Also, one lone flash flood warning in effect for north central Missouri. High wind watches and warnings, portions of the western states. Flash flood watch, portions of northern California. Also, windstorm warning for parts of the Sierra Nevadas. And then this is the weather map today, a very active pattern. Good grief. Severe weather in the central U.S., flash flooding and winter troubles in the west. Wow. Here's the severe weather outlook. Enhanced risk of severe weather for portions of Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, Oklahoma, northwestern Tennessee, western Kentucky. Marginal risk surrounding that curling into Nebraska and Kansas, and going as far east as the Indiana and Ohio line. Also, a marginal risk for portions of Oregon and Washington. 2% tornado risk in addition to that. But also, we have a 10% significant risk of tornadoes, portions of Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois today. Regarding QLCS tornadoes and maybe some discrete tornadoes as well. Discrete supercells could produce tornadoes, but that window is going to be very short. Of course, we'll look at that in modeling. Here we'll talk about that in just a few moments. But you can see there, 30% significant wind. The dominant threat looks to be wind today with a QLCS threat, but all severe threats are possible today, and you can see that 5% wind risk in the Pacific Northwest. I think we'll see low top supercells associated with that bomb cyclone there, and then 30% significant wind, portions of Missouri and Illinois. All right, flash flooding, a high risk, portions of northeastern California, moderate risk surrounding that, going all the way to the Bay Area, California, and a moderate risk for portions of Illinois and Indiana. And then here is tomorrow. Of course, again, we'll get modeling in just a minute. Hurricane Rick looks to be making landfall on Monday morning he'll be rolling into Mexico there. And then severe weather also possible for portions of the mid-Atlantic, and again, a very active pattern. Alright, a slight risk. Portions of Georgia, eastern Tennessee, western South Carolina, central and western North Carolina, much of Virginia, West Virginia, and eastern Kentucky under a slight risk of severe weather for Monday. 2% tornado. I'm kind of surprised it's only 2%. Hopefully it goes 5%. Looks like modeling is indicating at least a slight tornado chance. But the dominant threat's going to be wind, and of course we'll see that in modeling. 5% hail risk as well. In the flash flooding, the day 2 excessive rainfall outlook, a slight risk for central California, and marginal risk for portions of the northeastern coast. Then this is Tuesday, another severe weather day, portions of the plains, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. Again, another active pattern with winter and severe weather, and also flash flooding for portions of the northeastern coast. This massive low pressure system moves to the east. It'll create troubles in the Atlantic for the fish. And then day 3, this is Tuesday, a slight risk. We're not going to talk about this too much. We'll talk about this in another video and on Twitter and stuff like that. So day 4, a 15% risk. Portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. We'll talk about that in just also a moment here. Tropics, maybe waking back up again. Next 5 days, a 20% chance of development off the northwestern Atlantic off the U.S. coast. Look at modeling. Before that, let me take a quick gulp of water. Man. This is the current look, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central. Showers and thunderstorms portions of northern Missouri and southern Iowa. And we'll take a look at the visible satellite loop here. And cloud cover portions of a lot of northern Missouri, which is interesting. We're likely going to see some clearing after this whole mess moves out, but depending on that timing of that front and initiation, that'll be interesting on how to interact with the severe threat today. While I don't suspect that we're going to see a huge dampening on severe threat today, it is something to watch, and destabilization may be a little bit later than expected. That one front is moving a little farther north, quicker than anticipated, but we'll see what these factors do in terms of severe weather. But the area that we're going to watch is southern Missouri and northern Arkansas today. Skies are already clear. I think that's going to be our peak destabilization area today. And you might think if you're living in those areas, oh, what a beautiful day it is. It's sunshine. It's clear. It's warm. It's nice. No. That is a bad thing for today. It's going to increase destabilization. It's going to have more surface heating. And that is going to make the severe potential go up. So you don't want you want the clouds today. If you don't want severe weather, you want the clouds today. Anyways, we'll go back through modeling. This is 18Z, and clear no storm initiation yet. Going out to 20Z, we have a little couple specks in Missouri, and then initiation could be around 3 o'clock Eastern. 3 o'clock Central. That's when we could see initiation. We don't suspect discrete cellular mode today. We could see semi-discrete storms in the initial phase for the first couple of hours, but it'll quickly evolve into a QLCS line. We could see, again, a period of semi-discrete cells for a couple of hours. This will be at 4... No, this will be at 6 o'clock Central. So going out further, and that line moves to the east. It becomes a little broken. Again, the radar's not going to look exactly like this. This will be 8 o'clock p.m. Central, and kind of a broken line of storms. But as we evolve through time, this will be 9 o'clock. We could see another semi-discrete mode in Arkansas. And then we could see that full QLCS line build around 10 o'clock Eastern, with a couple of embedded supercells, maybe a couple of embedded supercells. Changing regions so we can see this whole line progress east. And this will be 1 a.m. Central. Kind of a broken, disorganized QLCS line from portions of central Illinois and Indiana down to Arkansas and the southeastern Arkansas. So we'll see what this line packs. I think the dominant threat with this is going to be wind. We could see a couple of tornadoes in this. Certainly not looking incredibly impressive, but it doesn't mean that it won't be impressive. Regardless of how models look, you should always be, especially today, aware of the weather today. Have a plan of action. Stay tuned to warnings with this. And then we'll look at tomorrow. This is a Monday. And it's the same line that moved through, it was going to move through today. And we'll see mainly a wind threat. And this may be the reasoning we could see a enhanced risk in this area. It's possible. The SPC hadn't stated it. I think it is at least possible. It's not off the table that we could see an enhanced risk in here. And definitely a 5% tornado should be in there, we hope, with how models are looking with this. But this whole thick, heavy line is going to move to the east, across portions of North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, through the afternoon and evening hours on Monday. And then this whole line will spread to the east. And here's the overall updraft helicity. You can see there portions of Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, and portions of North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. Alright, we're going to skip through Tuesday. We'll talk about that in another video, and we'll talk about that on Twitter. But I don't have all day to make a video. So take a look at Wednesday's surface-based CAPE values off the GFS. The only model that will actually go out this far. For Wednesday afternoon, this is where we had that 15% risk. And we can see CAPE values from 1,000 up to 2,000 joules in portions of southeastern Louisiana. Here's an atmospheric sounding and looking like a pretty favorable environment for potential for supercells. The SPC has mentioned that we could see some supercells in Louisiana, in southern Louisiana. Shear value is not amazing in the low levels, but it's actually not that incredibly bad. That could support some rotating updrafts, potentially. Those are those supercells. Lapse rates they're okay. And the instability values are okay. Photographs look pretty decent there. So, of course, being on the GFS is going to be quite hard to determine storm modes, timing, and where these storms are going to look like and all that. So, we're just going to quickly go through this. Here is Thursday, and we're going to have a potential severe weather event here in Florida as well. The SPC has not mentioned this at all. That's pretty typical. SPC doesn't like to mention Florida. I don't know why, but I remember back on April 11th when it was 2 days out, the SPC hardly mentioned Florida. And then they issued an enhanced risk on day 1. So SPC doesn't like mentioning the state, but we're going to mention it here. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. They're mentioning the Mid-Atlantic. Out of all other places, the Mid-Atlantic. Whatever. But we're going to mention it here. Surface-based CAPE values are from 1,000 up to 1,500, maybe exceeding 1,750 here. And GFS and Euro have kept consistency on this the past several days. So, pretty confident in a linear severe threat portions of the Florida Peninsula, much of the Florida Peninsula, Thursday. Timing could be Thursday morning to Thursday evening. So here is the atmospheric sounding a little bit south of Orlando. Substantial hodograph may support, if we get a linear event, maybe some embedded supercells in that whole line there. Shear value is a little bit worse. The low level shear a little bit worse than what we saw in Louisiana, but the upper level shear is better. The bulk shear is 37 knots, so not incredible, but definitely decent. And you can see the skewed T chart. It would be better to see some drier air, which is the area between the green line at dew point and that red line temperature. But we don't see that there, and that's favoring storms. So if you are living in Florida and you want to chase some storms, looking like a pretty decent environment. This is Ocala, a little bit more of a stretched hodograph from the 0 to 1 kilometer range, but definitely drier air in the upper levels from the 6 to 12 kilometer range, the 500 millibar to 200 millibar range. So definitely more unstable in the upper levels. But the shear a lot better. This is again in Ocala. You can look down below that skewed T chart to the right, where you can see the shear value is definitely a lot better in here. So of course this whole field is going to spread throughout the whole peninsula Thursday. So if you don't see this type of setup in, say, Orlando that you do see in Ocala, don't worry. You'll get that same setup as this whole cold front moves east, south, and east. So definitely looking at least marginally severe. I wouldn't be surprised to see a slight risk coming on the day 3 outlook. They'll probably put a marginal, knowing the SPC in Florida, they'll probably put a marginal risk on day 3, but it probably won't be till day 1 where you see a slight risk, if this holds. But yeah, SPC in Florida, they don't mix very well. They really don't. But anyways, that is the atmospheric sounding for that. And normally I don't look at this. It's not very reliable. It's usually I don't look at the GFS composite reflectivity. Again, not that reliable. But yeah, wow, a very wet, messy pattern for the eastern U.S. today. And also for portions, sorry about that sneeze if you heard that in the background. Up to 15 inches of rain, portions of Northern California in the Pacific Northwest. Also heavy rain totals for the New England as well. And then the next few days, very active, messy pattern for the next couple of days, going all the way out to Tuesday. That's going to be all for today's video. I know a long video today, a lot to discuss. We'll continue to talk about today. We won't be streaming much of today. I will be out today. We should be streaming this evening. Hopefully I can get home early this evening so that I can stream for that evening event. It looks like the peak time is going to be this evening. Anywhere from 7 to 11 o'clock tonight, Central Time. So may not miss out on much. Hopefully not. But I do encourage, I think one of our team members, DFW Storm Chasers, is going to be streaming on his channel. So I encourage you to check out his channel. Well, he'll be streaming much of that event today, and we'll pick that up this evening. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned today to Twitter and YouTube. Not to us, but of course we'll be posting on Twitter as well. So definitely be looking out for that. So that's all for today's video. Stay weather aware today. Stay safe, and we'll see you all in the next video.